This is the D minor lesson. So we have the D minor scales and chord progressions, followed by an anonymous version of the Folies de España by an anonymous version. And it's kind of an arrangement I made, and it's in D minor, so it'll match the chords nicely. And it's kind of a perfect chord progression for this key. So let's go over the scales and then the chord progressions, and then we'll dive into this anonymous lute piece that I've arranged. So a 1-octave D minor scale, and for this scale I've used a 1 finger per fret rule. And I mainly did that just because of the B flat in here. And because when minor scales change and we have accidentals, it's sometimes good to just keep everything clear by having 1 finger per fret. So that's the 1-octave D melodic minor scale. And then we have a D melodic minor position scale. So position scales go to the top note and the lowest note in the position of the guitar, the area of the guitar that you're playing. And we want to do that because it teaches us to read music in that key signature, in this case 1 flat. So the position scale. And then the D minor arpeggio. And then the D minor triads. For the root position triad, we're going to do a similar chord to what we did in D major by popping our 4th finger onto the 5th fret of the 5th string. So that we're grabbing the D on the 5th string, 5th fret. Root position. And then first inversion, we just go back here. Second inversion, first inversion. So again, the root position is with our 4th finger on the D on the 5th string. And then first inversion, second inversion, first inversion. Now the chord progression in D minor. Notice the typo, it says chord progression in F major, but of course it's in D minor. But let's do that one more time. D minor, A, E half diminished, A7, D minor. An E half diminished chord can also be in jazz. It's commonly called a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And then the 4-voice chord progression. Okay, then on to this anonymous lute work. So I've modified the work just slightly, just to make it a little bit more manageable and appropriate for this book. And it's an arrangement, right? So the Folio theme is a very common theme, and it's a very old European melody, and it's been arranged countless times by numerous composers throughout the ages, including the 20th century. Maybe one of the most famous ones is a set of variations on a theme by Ponce, the Mexican composer, which is a gigantic piece for the concert level guitarist. Anyhow, let's play through the piece and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay, so the chord progression is pretty straightforward in this piece, and you just want to know it because it's going to occur in every section of the piece. So you're going to play the same chords over and over and over in lots of different sections of the piece. So it starts with a D minor, then goes to an A, back to D, then a C chord, then an F chord, and then C, and then D minor, and then when it repeats, it does the A chord again to bring us back. When it doesn't repeat, it cadences in a D chord. So that's going to occur in all sections. So same thing on the third and fourth lines. It goes D minor, A major, D minor, C major, F major, C, D minor, A. Same thing on the final section. D, A, D minor, C, etc., etc. So same chord progression over and over, so you just want to be aware of that so you can anticipate the next shape that occurs every bar. That way it really cuts down on the amount of reading, because when you know what chord it is, you don't really have to read every individual note. If you know it's a D minor chord, then you kind of know that those are going to be the notes and you kind of follow the shape. People that are good at reading music don't necessarily just read every single note super fast. They recognize that certain things are chords, so they can reduce an entire bar of music to just one thing, to like a D minor chord, and then just play it. It simplifies the material, actually. It doesn't make it overly complicated. So the first two sections are pretty straightforward. I've put in quite a bit of right hand fingering just to keep it straight for you. The final section, just to clarify, the intention here would be to strum with the thumb and then play the individual notes with I or M. So thumb, sweep, if you find it a little bit tricky to strum and then use your finger, and you're finding that your finger doesn't hit the right string, or you're having an accuracy problem, one thing I'll say is that that's normal. That's like a normal thing. But the other thing I'll say is that when you sweep your thumb, try to move your thumb more than your whole hand position. If your whole hand goes down here and you have to bring your whole hand up and replace the finger, obviously accuracy problems will occur. Instead, what I would do is sweep the thumb and return to the kind of the starting position. So that way the I finger is pretty much right over the string already. You might not be thrown off so much. Because then you can see when I use my fingers, I just go, I don't move my whole hand trying to get the right string. Return, execute. This stems to like a larger issue with guitar playing, is that the security of the right hand doesn't come from this area. It really comes from this contact point on the guitar. This is where your hand position will become secure. You can move your hand all you want down here, but if this is secure, then you have a point of reference that you can always return to. So no matter what you do, whether you're doing like flamenco stuff or strumming with your thumb, or even just playing, we always reflex back to the starting position so our point of reference isn't thrown off too much. Besides that, just go through the piece, and I think you'll find it, if you've been over the chord progression, you're not going to find it too difficult. Take the piece nice and slow at first. It might take you longer with this piece to be able to perform it from start to finish without many hiccups. So take your time, play particularly slow, like half performance speed, half the speed, for a few weeks first, and just get very used to it. Be able to anticipate what chord's coming next, and then once you're feeling comfortable with that and you feel accurate, then you can start bringing the tempo up a little bit higher. Don't try to get your full tempo right from the very first try. Just ease into it, so like half speed for quite a while until you feel very, very confident with all the fingerings, both right hand and left hand. And so you're kind of happy with the sound of the piece as well.